We've taken a slightly different approach. Most of our sales force, including inside sales and counter staff, have some sort of tablet. We let them choose which one they wanted. And rather than go to the direction of doing an app, we decided to do a mobile website. And that mobile website has virtually the same functionality as if they were sitting in the office. They can look up customer profiles. They can look up inventory. They can pull off PDFs, specifications of any of the products that they've got. And the managers have a little special access. I can pull off almost any piece of information I need, whether it be sales or expenses or anything, delivery schedules for our trucks. So we empower our people through this mobile website to be able to make decisions, to be out in the field, not have to sit at a desk and do their work or do their job.
Can you guys talk about content marketing? What's working for you guys? Kind of generic, but best practices. What's working?
Well, I'm really push my team to keep it conversational. So whenever we're going to do any kind of, we're doing a blog. We do 2 posts a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we make sure we let our salespeople know. We kind of replaced our e-newsletter with kind of blog posts about talking about interesting things. And the hope is that eventually our salespeople, and some do, they take that and they pass that along to their customer, either as a follow-up to a sales call or a precursor to a sales call if it's a technology they want to come and talk to them about. And then we're doing the drip and nurturing campaigns and just making sure that we're having relevant content and that it's speaking to the customer and that it's not just the specs, of a product, but actually talking about how you would make that transition or conversion to a new product.
I mean, we're in year 3 or 4 of our social media and blogging, and content is king. So we have 5 business units, and 4 years ago, I would beg and plead for content. I would maybe get 1 story every 6 months from them. And they'd be thinking, hey, I gave you content, leave me alone. So the reality is that you never can have too much content. What I stress to them is whenever you see something, send it to me, send it to my team, because what we use is a scheduler. So you can schedule things out. We already have posts already out through the end of the year, believe it or not. 10 a.m. on Saturday, Wednesday, September 14th, this post is going up. So content is valuable. And we just try and, we post every day on Facebook, maybe even twice a day. And on Twitter, we probably post 8 to 12 times a day. So, we really make it an effort, and it has to be a proactive, concerted effort.
While we're on this topic for the manufacturers in the room, I can't tell you how important it is to get your information to the various organizations out there like IDW and Trade Service and any of the others that are out there. It is so vital for us. If you want us to promote your products and put them on our website, and whether it's through an e-commerce channel or just throwing out specifications, that is so vital for us. And it's amazing to me. We've started measuring some of our main manufacturers, some of the people as a distributor we support, and some of them are very, very good, and some of even the most notable names are not that good. They don't have enough content out there, and I can't encourage you enough to, if you're not dumping your information to these various organizations, you need to start to immediately.
Yep, and I would say that I would second that. And I was in a meeting with a manufacturer and our owner president yesterday, and he put it really well. And when the manufacturer says, "How do you see yourself competing against Amazon supply?" and he said, "We're counting on you guys to give us the content and the information we need to compete online. And, if you guys aren't giving it to us, we can't do that, and we depend on you guys."
I have a question for you. Are any of you utilizing HubSpot or a similar type of system? If so, how, and has it been effective for your business?
HubSpot. I looked into HubSpot. I think it's a little bit like Marketo, right? You post content and it tracks all that kind of stuff. But I think it was like just a piece I'm not 100% familiar with it when I looked at it. Like just a small piece, and where Marketo was like all of that. You got your custom landing pages. You can have your custom links. You can track your links. You can hide pages. You can do email campaigns. It was like the whole gamut but I don't know. I'm not exactly educated on HubSpot. I just remember a little bit when I looked at it. Anybody else?
No, I've never heard.
No.
No.
Got a question for you, Rob. Seeing how the sales force has a lot of windshield time, are podcasts still relevant, or are they a thing of the past? What are your thoughts on that from the panel?
You said podcasts? Yeah, I mean, I can attest myself. I listen to podcasts all the time. I think it's invaluable. You can get so much information. There's so much out there that's free. So it's something that I've considered for us, but being that we're a smaller team, I don't know if we can have the time and energy to devote to it yet, or maybe we just haven't discussed it enough to make it important. But I think as long as you're putting out good content, podcasting is a great way. Everyone has. Anyone with an iPhone, podcasting is really easy. Android, you have to get set up with a specific app, and it's not as quality as what Apple has for podcasting. But yeah, for sales, if you can put out good content, it's absolutely worth it, I would say.
I have a question regarding content. We've been talking about that for a few minutes now. What do you guys do? Do you guys actually develop a content strategy as far as maybe there's 4 or 5 buckets that you try to focus on instead of just being all over the place on your messaging? Do you guys actually have something you look at, quarterly or yearly to say these are the kinds of things we want to share with our customers?
I kind of made it simple. I said Tuesdays, technology focused, Friday, feature focused. So whether it's a guest post from a manufacturer, I think I got it, with Feature Friday or whatever, so whether it's at one of our companies, what we're doing differently, maybe it's a profile of one of our engineers, and then Tuesdays is always something more technical, and that was it.
Yeah, same. We've been trying to have a push more to be consistent. Certain days of the week you see the same thing, and then just general things like community events, awards, internal, fun things that we do. We try to share those so that people consistently see that we're doing stuff, but those aren't necessarily scheduled, just based on when we do them.
We have monthly meetings, just a couple people sitting in a room deciding what we're going to do for the next month, and we try to put the content out there so we're not at each other or in the contractors' faces all the time. We try to space everything out and try to plan as best we could.
I mean, for us, I'm working with multiple people, multiple product groups where they think their message and their product is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So all we try and do is if I have 4 posts about electric vehicles charging stations in a 3-week period, and I see I've gotten another 3 posts from that group, I space that out and then call up the other group and say, hey, look, we've become more of EVSE, electric vehicle centric. We need to space that out a little more to the other product groups. But that's really all we do in that respect. I'm happy to get content, so.
Okay, so I have one more question for you guys, and it's in regards to web development. Websites are really important in our industry, and with all the technology out there, specifically with the responsive web design, where it looks, it's custom made for, different mobile devices, PCs, whatever, as opposed to an app. There was a great discussion in the AdVenture LinkedIn group, and if you guys aren't part of that group, I really suggest you all join it. There's always great discussions going on there. It's kind of a continuation of this conference throughout the year. But there was a discussion as far as responsive web design versus app development. And could you guys, give us some insight in regards to those 2 options?
Well, we've chosen to, because we're a smaller company, we can't put as much. We don't have as big of a team as some of the other companies in this room. So we had to make a choice between either going towards an app or a mobile website. We couldn't do both at the same time. So we decided on the mobile website is the better way to do it. And we're starting small with empowering our sales force. We still believe this is a relationship industry, and those personal relationships that we've developed through the years and that we are continuing to develop are more important than us throwing a bunch of garbage up on a website. I actually, NAD did a great report a couple months ago. I think they e-blasted it out. It was I think it was called Alternative Distribution Channel, basically talking about Amazon. And they did some research and obviously talked to some contractors. And in there, they pull up a dozen or maybe 15 different things that were important to contractors depending on the type of business that they're doing. And every single one of them, it was the number one thing was they know our business. Obviously, we've got a relationship with them. And on every single decision, the last one was website. So I still believe this is a relationship industry. It doesn't mean that we don't need to keep encouraging website development. Eventually, it's going to become more and more important. But we still need to not lose sight of the relationships we're trying to create.
In regards to the post and the group, I think the general direction that everyone kind of agreed on was there's a time and place for both. Benefits of focusing on web design, and you can do SEO with your content and all that good stuff. With an app, you can have it send push notifications to whoever has your app on their phone. You can tap into just all the different facets of the phone, whether it's GPS location, all the different stuff that is in the phone that you don't get when you're just on the website. So I think they each have their own purpose depending on what you're trying to get at.